Climate change is leading to the loss of plants and animals at rates not seen in human history. Those extinctions include the Yarrow's spiny lizard, which for millions of years and until recently was found in the Mule Mountains of southern Arizona. Talk more about this. We welcome John Wiens. He's an evolutionary biologist at the University of Arizona. Welcome to Arizona Horizon. Good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
So basically, you studied this, in particular, this one lizard that has been found, what, for millions of years down there?
At least about 5 million years or so. It's
Wow.
been all these little mountains, all these little sky islands across southeast Arizona and New Mexico, and then down into Mexico.
So basically, in the Mule Mountains, which if you've been to Bisbee, you know what the Mule Mountains are right there. Beautiful area, beautiful town, beautiful everything.
Yeah.
But not so beautiful for the, what's going on with the lizard?
So we surveyed them in 2014, right? And they were down at about 5,700 feet. We came back in 2022 and 2023. They were just surviving a little bit near the top of the mountain, up above 7,000 feet. And the real problem there is, it's not a tall mountain range, right? So they've only got about 300 feet of elevation left, and after that, they're gone. So if the same rate continues that we'd seen before, they're probably gone the next year or two.
I was going to say, did you not go back and try and look for them and you couldn't find anything?
Well, I've actually got a slightly better news on that.
Good, good.
Yeah, because they are still there. We went a little too early in the year, back in March, and so it's not quite as bad as it looked on CBS.
So we have extinction because you got to keep going higher to not get so warm.
Exactly.
What happens to evolution, which says, okay, it's getting warmer, you need to adapt? They just can't adapt?
No, that's a great point. So there's 18 sky islands where these lizards are, and some of them are going extinct and some of them aren't. And it's the ones that are the most genetically variable that are able to survive. So a couple of the hottest populations are actually surviving, and those are the ones that have a lot of genetic variation.
But this Yarrow's not so much.
The one that's in the mules,
Yeah.
not so much. Yeah.
So basically, unless and until that level drops back down or at least holds steady, this is not a good story.
No, it's not.
And this is not an unusual story, is it?
No, in fact, like the Whetstones, which is near Benson, where Kartchner Caverns are, that one's also just above 7,000 feet. It'll probably be next.
So how often is this happening with other species?
Well, so I did a survey back in 2016, looked at 976 species, and there was these sort of climate-related local extinctions in 47% of them.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So there could be millions of creatures facing extinction in the next decades or so.
And yeah, so I've estimated in a paper that came out last year, maybe 3 to 6 million species will be lost in the next 50 years or so. About maybe somewhere between 15 and 30% of all species might be lost, even under an intermediate climate change scenario.
And there's no question, this is warming. This is the Earth.
Absolutely.
You can't deny what's going on here.
Absolutely. So in the case of these lizards, we can show that it's the populations that have experienced the most warming are the ones that are disappearing, and combined with the genetic variation.
Whatever happened to the Endangered Species Act? Why is that not working anymore? Is it toothless? What's happening here?
Well, this has happened really quickly, and it's not. So this is just in 7 years that this population of the mules is almost gone. And I've been in touch with folks from the Center for Biological Diversity, and they're going to sort of try to fast track getting this mule population listed. So that will help. But in the end, what can you do, right?
Exactly. I mean, and what can be done? I mean, is this the kind of? I mean, obviously we know the human impact. At least most people will understand the human impact of the warming temperature. But I mean, for these little guys, these lizards, I mean, they got nowhere to go.
That's right, and there's lots of places in the world like this. So for example, in Australia, the beautiful rainforests in Australia, none of the mountains there are that high, the same sort of situation. The Western Ghats in India, incredible biodiversity, but there's not very tall mountain ranges, so it's going to be a similar story in those places also.
Similar story as well regarding whether or not the gene pool is diverse enough to be able to survive this and maybe branch off, who knows, in another million years to something else. Correct?
That's right. Yeah. But they've got to get through the next 50 or 100.
And that's the question. Another question I wanted to ask you. We've heard of extinctions happen. We all get that, but it's happening at a very unusually fast rate. True?
Absolutely. Yes. If we lose, 20% of the species in the next 50 years, that would be, unprecedented.
What got you on this research?
I just like these lizards. and so I started doing surveys in 2013 and 2014. And then I just kind of went back, just sort of as a lark, because I never expected that we'd see such big changes in just 7 years.
Yeah. Well, they're good for lizards. They're good looking.
They are. They totally are. They're nice and friendly. That one's from the Chiricahuas, the Chiricahua population. You can actually go up and get really close to them. Sometimes you can actually kind of stick your finger in their face, and they're totally cool.
You can mess with them a little bit, and they don't mind, huh?
Yeah.
So what's next for your research? What are you looking at? Where are you going?
So I have a great postdoc, Gopal Murali, and we're looking at these patterns across the world. We have data from 5,000 species, so we're looking at that in great detail around the world. And then also looking at the local ones in more detail and trying to understand what's actually happening, what's actually causing, what's the actual mechanisms that's causing them to go extinct because of climate change.
And again, you're working in conjunction in other areas with other folks, true?
That's right. That's right.
Well, good luck to the lizards. I mean, that's just a good-looking fella there. I mean, come on, you're rooting for these things,
exactly.
Especially when you realize they don't have anywhere to go. But we root the best for them, and congratulations on your research. Thank you for coming up and talking to us about it. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on.
John Wiens, University of Arizona.